Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. I'm Mike Amos, hoping that you're doing well this morning wherever you are. Of course, in our 12 county area where this show goes direct, or on Facebook across the nation, across the world. You're watching Troy Cablevision's version of Today in LA. That's Lower Alabama, my friends, brought to you by Troy Bank and Trust Company. Remember, Troy Bank and Trust Company, the only bank you'll ever need. And, of course, we appreciate all of our sponsors, Bill Jackson Ford, Bill Jackson Chevrolet, a premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep on the bypass where they're dealing like nobody else around with new cars and trucks. And, of course, a purchase of a new or used car and truck, you can purchase one of these heavy Jettas. You talking about a Jetta, it is heavy, and it is, remember, every Friday on this show, we give away a Yeti cooler. We'll be doing that again this Friday. Remember, big game tonight from the stadium is Troy and arch rival Georgia Southern going at it tonight, 7 o'clock kickoff on ESPN. What now? And of course, that game is at 7 o'clock tonight, as those two arch rivals get together. The home team has won the last two games on both sides. Last two times Troy's gone to South Alabama, Troy's won. Last two times South Alabama's been at Troy, South Alabama won. So a lot of Troy flavor. Too, though, a lot of in fact, Steve Campbell, the head football coach at South Alabama, is a former Troy player, played on the national championship team in 1987, and of course, several of his assistants, his defensive coordinator and his offensive coordinator, all played here at Troy, and several other members of their staff played at Troy. So it's a lot of Troy flavors. So they'll be coming in here tonight wanting to win like no other game of the season. Big game for Troy to stay close and involved in the conference race. Of course, bowl pitchers also there, and hopefully Troy can win this game and get sort of a streak going. So far, Troy has had just very mediocre wins over, no wins really mediocre, but over Akron and
pretty mediocre.
over Campbell.
Two of the worst teams you could possibly beat. Campbell, who just started football 6 years ago, and then Akron has got to be one of the worst teams in college football.
Well, I'm afraid to answer it, because the answer will be yes. You're exactly right.
Well, I mean, Akron's lost every game they played.
Yeah, that's right. And Campbell probably hadn't won many in their Division I AA. Mike, how important is this game tonight if Troy expects to have it?
It's the biggest game Troy's had probably. I mean, I would say ever since Neil Brown's, first year coming in and trying to reestablish, build the wall. I mean, now Troy's trying to maintain the wall. I mean, they had, hit record highs and wins, 3 straight seasons with, over 10 wins or more. I mean, these guys have been there, done that. They beat LSU, beat Nebraska on the road. I mean, these guys have done it all at Troy, won a conference championship, and a lot of these guys, especially offensively, are still there. And I mean, this would be as brutal of a loss that you could ever experience tonight if you start the season 2-4 when most people projected. I know I even did. I thought we'd finish 8-4, but I thought we'd start 4-1, at worst 3-2. And if you stare 2-4 in the face, I mean, it would be shocking beyond words. I still, to this day, I guess the biggest shock is when we got ranked and South Alabama came in. We beat LSU and had 10 days to get ready under Coach Brown, and South Alabama came in and beat us. That was a shocking loss, but this would even be more shocking tonight. A 1-5 team that's only beat one AA school, Jackson State. I mean, this is the biggest game in Chip Lindsey's young coaching career tonight.
And of course, we hope that we'll have a huge crowd of Troy people supporting us. This is what is very important to me. We're Troy, Alabama, population 18 to 20,000 people. We have a Division 1A program located right here in our town. We're the second smallest town in the nation out of 135 that play football in the nation. The only other town, Mike, is West Point, New York, where West Point is located. It's the only town smaller than Troy, Alabama, as a Division 1A program. Being 1A program, any town that doesn't have a 1A program would give it everything they've got to have a 1A program. I mean, we've got something extremely special in our community, and that is to be ranked to be classified as a 1A program. Just like Auburn, just like Alabama, Troy is ranked as a Division 1A program. And that should mean millions and millions of dollars into your economy. It should make people from everywhere want to move into your town because you're Division 1A in athletics, and especially football. Now, a lot of teams might be Division 1 in baseball and basketball, but being Division 1A out of the 130, I want to say 37 teams in the nation that are 1A. So that'll tell you a little bit about it.
I mean, one issue you're dealing with as far as tonight, of course, you got church services all around, and of course, the fan base is a little upset as well. You know, I mean, you start the season 0-2 at home against Division 1 teams, you know, losing to Southern Miss and Arkansas State. I mean, I don't know what kind of crowd Troy will have tonight. I think it'd be really, really good if they had over 15,000.
Well, I'll tell you another thing, too. The schools are out, and they're out for this, what you call this fall break. And a lot of them are down there.
Every single one of them are outside my door on bikes and on golf carts riding around right now.
It's not rainy down there?
It rained all day, not all day, but for at least 3 or 4 hours yesterday, and then rained a little bit last night, but it looks like it's going to clear up today.
Well, it really rained here, and we had a
Have you seen the weather, what it's going to be like in Troy tonight? It's going to be incredible.
What, 40 degrees?
I mean, that's what I read yesterday. It was going to be,
heard that.
like right now, the high is 68.
I hope they have coffee at the game. You reckon they'll have coffee at the game, Mike?
It's supposed to get down tonight to 45 degrees.
Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you this.
At kickoff, it's going to be around 63 degrees.
Our tailgate, the alumni tailgate party, feeds their members, the Alumni Association every home game. And guess what we got tonight?
Gumbo.
No, how about camp stew and loaf bread? White bread, or what we call loaf bread, and camp stew is on the menu tonight. That should come in real handy. A good hot bowl of delicious camp stew by Hook's Barbecue. And if Hook's Barbecue does it, I promise you it is very good.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where, joining the Alumni Association is probably the best deal you ever make in your life. It's to join, $25, $30.
That's right, and you eat free. And of course, think about that.
And all the road trips you go to, you have a place to go before the game.
That's right, and of course, you get to eat free there. If you're a member of the Alumni Association, and also people don't realize that you get other amenities like motel rates are much cheaper, car rates. I have people calling me all the time and said, how can I get one of those cards, alumni cards, so I can get my car rentals a lot cheaper. You take somebody that's in business that flies a lot, this would be a huge saving to them. So that's another thing. You get a magazine 3 or 4 times a year that talk, that's very nice. And again, a lot of bookstore. How about this? 20% off at the bookstore. So it's just a lot of things for a small amount of money. So join the alumni chapter today and eat free with us tonight. And we're excited about a huge game.
Troy's still a 15-point favorite in Vegas.
Boy, what did Vegas?
Over-under is 55. I mean, the biggest question, can somebody please call in? I don't care if you're a student. I don't care if you're on the football team. I don't care if you're a coach. Just call in and let us know if Barker's starting and not a quarterback. For that line, and let me say this, and some people might like this, not like this, but another huge thing about being a member of 1A compared to like Jacksonville State's 1AA or Sanford's 1AA is they do actually have the game in Las Vegas, on the board in Las Vegas, which creates a stir of people all over not only the United States but the world. They see Troy and South Alabama is the only game in town or going on. Do we have a baseball game tonight? I'll have to look and see.
I don't even know, but I'm thinking it's the only game in town that you can bet on.
It's the only football game in the country tonight.
Yeah, only football game in the country tonight. So people from all over the world will be calling in, wanting to find out what the point spread is. And I'm gonna say this: I would take South Alabama in a second and 15 points, and giving me 15 points. I just think that it's going to, first of all, South Alabama is a lot better than their record. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, these coaches,
they're going to want to win this game, too.
You think they get ready for some of these other teams? That they'll do everything they possibly can, trick plays, going for it on fourth down. You'll see it all tonight.
But I'm going to tell you,
Campbell would much rather be wearing that Troy polo shirt and hat on the sidelines than being at South.
Yeah, he would have loved to have the job. He was a candidate for the job. He's an excellent young coach. Coach Haystack is a defense coordinator, was at Jacksonville for 15, 20 years.
Yeah, but he also led Louisiana Lafayette 4 straight 9-win seasons as their defense coordinator.
What, Haystack was? I didn't know he was Louisiana Lafayette's.
Yeah. So he was a Division I defense coordinator there, and then he went to Central Arkansas. After Husband lost the job at Lafayette.
You know,
That's how he got back with Campbell.
Guess where Haystack's from? Do you know?
He's from around Gaston? Where's he from?
He's from Decatur. Haystack's from Decatur, and of course he played here for. I want to say he might have been here for 4 years. For both national championship years. I think he was.
I think so. And Eddingfield was here for 87?
Yeah, that's right, 87. He was a wide receiver, and of course he's the offensive coordinator, and of course his son is also a part of the program down there. And South Alabama's a great school, beautiful school, fast-growing school. Are they building a stadium on campus, Mike?
Yeah, we talked about that. It's going to hold about 26,000.
Well, you wait when they get that stadium on campus. That's going to enhance their program tremendously, just like UAB. UAB, I've heard that just through people's talking back and forth, is that Troy, they're trying to put together UAB and Troy in a bowl game. I don't know if I know.
That was a long time ago when the season started.
Yeah.
They projected that.
But wouldn't that be a great game? Maybe in Montgomery.
I'd be happy if Troy made it to any bowl game now. I'd just be happy if we got to 6-6.
Well, let's look at it. Let's look at it.
A little bit different when UAB's 4-1 right now and Troy's 2-3. I was gonna go over South Alabama's schedule so far this year. They started the season against Nebraska in Lincoln and played really well. Got beat 35-21 to start the season. And then they played Jackson State at home. They won 37-14, so that's their only win against Jackson State.
Yeah.
Memphis came to town, and this is kind of when they went through a tailspin. Memphis won at Mobile at Lad Stadium 42-6.
Boy.
Then they went on the road the next week and played UAB at Legion Field in Birmingham and got beat 35-3.
Oh man.
Then they turned around and also had less than 200 yards of offense. Then they played at La Monroe, and this this is a sign they're getting a little bit better. They got beat at Lyman Road 30-17, and then of course we talked about the game they gave away at home to Georgia Southern. Their last time they played, they got beat double overtime. All they had to do was kick a field goal in the first overtime to win it, and it got blocked.
Yeah.
And Georgia Southern won 20-17, so they're trending in a better direction.
Yeah. Let me tell you this. I just know that we had a call coming in, and we lost him. Evidently, that was Max Howell. And as soon as he comes in, we'll put both of you on the line. But hopefully we can get Max back in a minute. Max Howell calling in from Fulton, Mississippi. Yeah, Mike, that does tell you a lot. But I'm gonna tell you, I know these guys. I know what kind of competitors they are and what kind of coaches they are. They'll come in here and they'll give Troy all they want and more. They could win the football game. If I was out there and I was the better, I would take the South Alabama in 15 points. That's a lot of points against a rival team, Mike, that's got perhaps the best running back in the conference. This Metter kid, this running back, a lot of people think he's going to be a big pro prospect one day, if he's not already.
Well, I mean, you also got the unknown of if Barker's going to play or not. So basically what I would do is...
I'm going to put you on hold here. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, Mike.
What's going on? Hey, wait a minute. Who is this? Hold on. Let me put you on hold here a second. Hold on a minute. All right, we got both y'all on now.
Hey, man.
Okay, Mike, are you on?
Yeah, I'm on.
Mayor, good to hear from you, man. We heard from you one day, and everybody was asking me, who is that guy? Who was that guy on the phone? And I said, well, he's a new friend of mine who is a huge Troy guy. Are you on your way to Troy now?
Man, I'm headed down Highway 82, getting close to Tifton on the way.
All the way through Tifton, Georgia. And, of course, coming from Shreveport, Georgia. Is that right?
That's right.
Pronounce that one more time. Shreveport,
Georgia.
All right. I can't even break that down.
No, Scriven,
Georgia. And, of course, the mayor's on the line. And, Mayor, what's going on with you, man? And tell us about where you're heading.
The Battle of the Belt tonight.
The Battle of the Belt tonight. Now, Scriven, Georgia is located where?
Southeast Georgia, 35 miles inland from Jekyll and St. Simon's Island.
Yeah. Okay, so you're 35 miles from the beach, is that right?
That's right, 35 miles from the boat that turned over.
Yeah. Oh, God, what boat was that?
That Golden Ray, that car carrier, I'm sure you've seen it on the national news.
Did that happen recently?
It happened it's getting close to a month now, right there. Right off the pier of St. Simon's.
And how many cars drowned? How many cars were drowned?
Well, they hadn't pulled any of the cars out yet. There's 4,200 cars on board.
4,200 cars were on board of this ship?
My goodness, I hadn't even heard of this story. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, Mike, you need to look it up. It's they just come out with a press release today that now they've decided they've taken out 235,000 gallons of the 300,000 gallons of fuel that was in it, and they've decided now the best process for trying to get this boat is turned over, and basically what happened is the guy got out of the channel and hit land and it rolled over on him. So now they're going to disassemble this ship piece by piece and car by car. They got all these cranes around it.
What kind of cars are these? Kias. Oh gosh, they make the Kia in Alabama. Did you know that?
Oh, right over the line.
Right over the line in Georgia.
West Point, Georgia.
Yep. And it's called the Golden Wreck. You can look it up. It's a big ordeal going on. And
so this must have been a huge tanker to have 4,200 vehicles on it. You said
4,200 Kias.
Is this where were they taking the Kias? All over the world, or where?
Yep, this was a Japanese cruise ship. I'm pretty sure Japanese. But what happened is, there ain't but about 12 or 15 workers on them boats, and when that thing turned over, two of the guys, they were able to rescue all of them but two, and they couldn't find it. I mean, amazing story. You still look it up. They went around and started banging on the outside of the ship, and these guys banged back. And when they took a plasma cutter and cut a hole in the side to where they were, and hoisted them out, and the Coast Guard went in and rescued them out. And these dudes had already stripped down to almost nothing of their clothes because they, it was so hot in that hole.
Oh, gosh.
Man.
Oh, me.
Cargo ship carrying 400 Hyundai cars is what it says.
That's what it said. Was it Hyundai or Kia?
Well, they told us Kias now.
All right. My guy here says Kia. He says Kia too.
No, I don't know. It says 4,000 Hyundai cars, and then it says 4,000 Kias. So I don't know. Are they almost the same people?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive it's Kias.
Yeah.
They owns Kia, maybe.
What kind of ship was this? One of those flatbeds or what?
You can pull a picture up of it.
Yeah, pull you a picture of it. It's a big old huge. I mean, one of them looks like a whole city rolling.
Well, it was a huge ship. Now,
Happened September 8th is what it looks like.
how deep is the water there?
Well, apparently not real deep where it laid over, but that channel out there is real deep because, Georgia, we're number one, and our ports are out of Brunswick and Savannah are two major economy impacts in the area. And apparently he got off course, or else he wouldn't have hit no sand.
Yeah. Of course, the mayor of Shriven, Georgia is on the line, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, it's always good to hear from you, Jason. And tell us a little bit about you, man, and how you became a Troy guy.
Well, I just, like I told you the last time, my daughter come up here as a freshman in high school and then sold out to Troy as a sophomore in high school, and now she's a sophomore at Troy. And we've just been following this dream ever since.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, this guy is from Shriven, Georgia, over there right next to the biggest city over there would be Savannah. And how long a drive? 5-6 hours?
5.5, yes.
5.5 hour drive. And his daughter is a majorette. And, when she was in the 9th grade, you started taking her to different places that had band programs across the South. Tell them all the places that you sent your daughter, and then tell us what she did to choose Troy.
We got on the internet and found, like you said, band programs that had summer camps.
Had you ever heard of Troy's band before?
Never heard of it before. But ironically, because our high school, we hadn't actually started high school band yet, but our high school band director is an alumni of Troy. So once we said, hey, we're going to Troy, he was like, that's where I graduated from. And it made our friendship become a strong friendship now. But we started at University of Georgia. Then we went to Troy. And
the famed Red Coat Band at the University of Georgia.
That's right, the Red Coat Band. I tell you, I love Georgia and I love Georgia Bulldogs, and even I still bleed red after Saturday. But Troy Band's way better than the Red Coat.
Would Troy Band blow the Red Coat Band off the field?
I'll never forget it. My freshman year, we had season tickets to UGA games, and Troy played. You probably remember, Mike. Troy played.
Oh yeah, we got beat bad. We got beat bad that day, didn't we?
Yeah, but you didn't get beat with that pet band. UGA had their band mic'd up, and Troy's pet band, they didn't have no mics, and they blew them out.
Yeah.
We went over there one time when Rick was there, and Troy only got beat 48-38.
Yeah, I know it. Well, that's right. A real close game. Okay, and then now after you left Georgia, where'd you go?
After we left Georgia, we went to Troy.
All right. Did you look at Georgia Southern, or did you look?
We've been to Georgia Southern quite a few times. They do the lady that the auxiliary sponsor there, the coach of the majorette team, that was my daughter's dance teacher and twirl teacher.
Yeah. How about Jacksonville State? Did you go there, or Florida State, or anywhere like that?
No, we've been to Florida State. One of the featured twirlers down there is out of the same town, out of our town.
From Shriven, Georgia.
Yes, sir. Katie Coffey's her name.
Yeah, okay. All right, and then tell us after going to all those places, how do you? And she just in the 9th grade. You know, she had to be saying that all of them are good. Is that right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. She loved them all, but the one thing, like I told you the last time, that sealed the deal was the small town feel. You know, us being from a small town, and Troy having that small town feel. It felt like home to her, and she said, "This is where I want to go."
Yeah.
And so we sold out and got rid of our season tickets to UGA, and here we are. Yelling, "Go Troy!"
Yeah. Well, and another thing too, she could have stayed over there, and it would not have cost you a penny. In fact, it would have been free education through what Georgia has. It's called the Hope Grant, and that Hope Grant, any kids. That's right. Any kid that makes.
Doesn't sound the South do band scholarships there?
Oh well, well, first of all, the Hope Scholarship, though, if you have a B average, you can go to school free, and you turn that down to come to Troy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now I know they gave some.
We do get a little scholarship, but you know, it's still being out of state. It's a substantial, fee versus,
All right. Well, she's a junior. I mean, a sophomore in high school. Said, "Daddy, I want to go to Troy. I want to go to Troy." Did that surprise you?
It did surprise me. It did surprise me a lot because I thought we would be Georgia Bulldogs for life. And
I mean, she could have been in the Red Coat band. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. And then I thought we was going to be down in Gainesville and
at the University of Florida. Y'all went and looked at the University of Florida?
Yep, and that guy offered her the farm just about to come. I mean, he wanted her to come to Florida.
Now, she was a big-time twirler, one of the best in the country. Is that right?
Yes, sir. She won a national championship that year, 2014.
Uh-huh. And out of Florida, we're talking about Florida State. We're talking about Georgia Southern. And then probably even more bands than that. She turned down to come to Troy, Alabama. Had it been a good decision?
The best decision we ever made for her.
Ladies and gentlemen, sit back and relax. Here's the sound of the South. Does that give you chill bumps? Does that put chill bumps on your back?
Every time I hear Paul McNeely yell it.
Yeah, don't you love it?
I love it.
You know, their pregame, I love Troy's pregame show, and, they play some of those old band songs that I like so much. Bum, 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 blah, 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 blah. Do you like that?
I like it. Hey, there's nothing like hearing the fanfare at 8 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, and you hear that early in the morning? Who sings it for you, or who plays it?
On game day Saturdays, the Sound of the South has practice at 8 a.m.
I know it.
Tries to get the band to wake up the whole, all the doors.
That'll be a big band deal tonight too. I'm sure South Alabama will bring their big band too.
So
a lot of these.
Who coaches the majorettes at Troy?
Miss Jean, she is Dr. Jason Sullivan's wife. Jean Heasley, I think is her last name. He came here from North Texas.
Yeah. Well, of course, it's a fabulous.
It was Carol Franks for years and years.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. We know Carol well, and she was great too. And she was a great. Still is one of the top. What do you call it? Flute players in the country. No question about it.
She's the one that recruited my daughter.
Yeah.
She met us at the hotel the first night we ever came into Troy. She met us with her little dog.
Did she? Yeah.
At the lobby of the court. And
well, I tell you, isn't that something?
Yep.
All the way from Scriven, Georgia, and of course Brunswick, Georgia is located right about 30 minutes from you, and then you've got another Georgia town about 10 minutes from you, don't you?
I got Jessup.
Yeah, Jessup, Georgia. And of course.
Matter of fact, we got a kid that plays defensive end for South Alabama that come out of my high school, that come out of our high school from Jessup.
Well, then Troy get him.
Well,
Is he a good player?
he ain't too bad. We'll
Yeah.
see him tonight. He wears number 42,
Yeah.
Jeremiah Little.
Yeah, okay.
You only have 25 scholarships. You can't be
That's right.
too picky anymore.
Yeah.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to the mayor of Scriven, Georgia.
What is everybody in Georgia saying about the Braves collapse again, and then Georgia's shocking loss to South Carolina? What are people talking about over there?
Well, hey, I'll tell you exactly, Mike. I was fixing to get into that to ask you y'all's thoughts, but I'll tell you the exact words the buzz going around the state right now. That everybody, when they die, they're asking for 2 Braves players, 2 Falcons players, and 2 Bulldog players so they can let them down one more time.
Oh, boy.
All you're hearing about now is in Alabama, when I listen to the shows, is people talking about Justin Fields is now at Ohio State, and Jacob Eason is having a phenomenal career now at Washington, and Jake Fromm's pretty good to me. I mean, if he can beat those 2 guys out, he's still pretty good.
He's as good as advertised. He had a bad game, and it happens. I mean, hey, we all know. And I'll tell you, people, one of the keys to that ain't really. They just started talking about it. I noticed this morning was Lawrence Cager was our wide receiver core was depleted after last year, and Fromm had a relationship with McCole Hardman and some of those other boys. And he threw that ball to a spot, and they were there. Well, if you watch Saturday, a couple of them balls he threw to a spot, them young receivers wasn't there. They turned the wrong way.
That's right.
So these guys have got to get it together. And Cager was out, and Brian Harrion was out. And, I've always wondered how Harrion even got on the field with the running backs that we had at Georgia. But everybody tells me that he grades out above and beyond the rest of them in the blocking scheme. That he's the best one, protecting from, and so maybe.
Well, yeah, they got the great freshman receiver out of Hoover High School that switched from Auburn. He'd been an Auburn commitment for a year, and then George Pickens on signing day went to Georgia, and that was a big pickup.
Well, and they've got to use Pickens. That's what all these Georgia fans are saying. We have got to stretch the field with Pickens, but I'll tell you, I'm kind of like that commentator was in that game. I wouldn't have threw that ball over there to that tall cornerback for South Carolina. Now, he was just having the game of his life, so get away from him.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I kind of felt like Holyfield, he went early after his junior season. If they would have had Holyfield and Swift at running back, that was a really good combination last year. I mean, not that they don't have good backup running backs, but Holyfield rushed for over 1,000 yards last year. Didn't even get drafted.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Jason Weaver. Is that right?
That's right.
And, of course, the mayor of Scriven, Georgia, population 800.
Mike Amos.
Hey, real quick before I do,
Is there any stories about that trip I can hear about?
No, there's some good ones.
No, listen, what happens to Mike Amos on a bus trip or a plane trip with the mayor of Scriven, Georgia, it stays there. It doesn't go anywhere else. Hey, let me ask you this. How did you meet Mike Amos, that big fat guy over at the Alumni House? How did you meet him?
Well, I'll tell you exactly how I met you. That one day you was out there struggling, icing all them drinks down, and I said, let me help this gentleman out. So I helped you out, and that's just how it started.
And we became friends, didn't we?
We sure did.
And of course, what time you gonna be in Troy today to help me?
I've got it planned, locked and loaded to be at Troy between 11 and 11:30.
All right, I hope I can buy you lunch, whatever.
I mean, do we need to pay a college kid to start helping y'all?
Well,
they got a few, but they get there a little later.
yeah. This guy is a machine, Mike. This guy, the mayor of Scriven, Georgia, is a machine. Are you bringing anybody with you? Is your wife with you?
No, I'm bringing my daddy with me.
Oh, boy, you mean your daddy's in the car with you?
I sure am.
All right, brother. Was he born and raised in Scriven, Georgia?
No, he was born in...
Well, my home's in Scriven, Georgia. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Hey, in Pierce County.
My buddy in Pierce County. You mean Yeoman? Bob Yeoman?
Yeah, Rollerson.
Rollinson. Oh, yeah, that's right. And he played here at Troy. And John Stevens, of course, played here at Troy.
Hey, I talked to his daughter for you night before last at the recreation field. She's got a son that's playing recreation football.
Uh-huh.
And I got you a report on John from her.
Yeah, well, I need to know. And, of course, John's a good friend of mine. And Gordon Rollison was his name. And then, of course, Ray Kicklighter's from out here at Patterson, Georgia. And he'll probably be at the game.
That's where my daddy was born and raised.
Patterson, Georgia. Well, of course, Ray Kicklighter. Has he ever heard of Ray Kicklighter? Wow, 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 wow.
Yep, he knows Ray.
He's the chief. We call him Chief Kicklighter. He was a quarterback in high school. Came over here from Patterson, Georgia. And that's where your dad's from.
That's exactly right.
Your dad's probably about my age, isn't he?
No, I'm 68.
Oh yeah, I got him about 4 years. Is that right?
That's right. You got him by 3 or 4.
Well, let me ask this: Is it great to be a Troy Trojan?
Man, there ain't no better feeling.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to get a win today, though. Now we got to have a win.
Let me ask you this: What would Brunswick, Georgia, or what would Scriven, Georgia, or any town in the state of Georgia? Wouldn't they love to have a Division 1A football program in their town?
Oh, man, you talking about...
Sometimes I wonder if our people appreciate this university like we should. Everybody says our attendance has been up, and they have, but we'll see tonight how much the program is loved and cared for, because I'd be there just to make us look good, wouldn't you?
No doubt about it, Mike. I'll tell you, even in the little bit of time that we've been coming to Troy, about 6 years total now, that town has flourished and bloomed, and all this new stuff popping up, and I mean, it's just, I'm sure that it has been a great revenue source for the city of Troy.
Oh, no question about it. And we need more hotels right now. There'll be people staying in Ozark. There'll be people staying in Greenville, Montgomery, Enterprise, because we don't have enough room to put them up.
Yeah, my friends from here that come from home, that come to the Troy, their children are in the band there now. They stay in Enterprise.
Yeah.
I stay in Troy, but they stay in Enterprise.
Boy, you're talking about a great high school band. Enterprise High School has a great band.
Troy built a conference center / hotel on campus. That's something that a lot of universities have.
Yeah, that would be
I know it. I wish they would.
They have one in Auburn, and they have one at the University of Alabama, the Capstone Hotel.
Okay, now you'll be out there and you'll watch the band. You'll get ready today and so forth, and then you'll the pregame. You'll watch the pregame and the walk, the Trojan walk. You'll be there for that. Is that right?
Right on the corner, right where they make the turn.
That's right, right where they make the turn. And you're so proud of your daughter, aren't you?
I'm very proud of her.
And how many more years she got? I hope she'll come and work on her master's, then work on her doctorate, so we'll be able to keep you around. Are you a Trojan fan for life? Wait a minute, let me ask you a personal question. Now, you grew up a Georgia fan, but are you a Troy fan for life?
I'm a Troy fan for life from here out.
You mean my home's in Alabama? Whoa, what do you think?
I told my wife, this is you can verify next time you see her. I told my wife when she gets tired of working, when she's too old to work anymore or whatever, that when we retire, we gonna move to Troy, Alabama.
Are you saying that? See, people, this is a guy that is on the outside looking in that sees what a great, great place we have to live. Sometimes we have to sell our own people on what a great place we have to live. I mean, hey, if you like barbecue, we got it. Is that right? Tell some of your favorite restaurants.
That Hook's Barbecue, top of the line.
It is, and let me tell you, that's why. Guess what we're serving at the alumni house tonight?
Hook's Barbecue.
No, we're serving. Hey, we're serving a big hot bowl of camp stew made by Hook's Barbecue.
I saw that.
You already have picked that up on Facebook.
I got it on the email.
On the email. boy, I tell you what, you guys from Scriven, Georgia, are something else. I'm telling you, and and I hope to be able to buy you lunch today, all the way from Scriven, Georgia. My good friend Jason Weaver, and he is also now. Can they reach you on Facebook?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Facebook is Jason Weaver or the City of Scriven.
Or the big city of Scriven, so they can go and see all about your little town. You have a website, is that right? What is your website?
The City of Scriven, and the website is cityofscriven.com.
All right. Now, y'all giving away get out of jail frees on speeding and that type thing, speeding tickets and all that. All we have to do is just send it to in care of the mayor of the town of Scriven. Is that right?
I think I might know somebody that can help you out.
Yeah, and of course, right now you're three patrolmen strong. Do all of the patrolmen get to take a police car home with them?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and of course, Scriven, Georgia.
I think you need to take a trip to Scriven, Georgia.
Well, we will. We'll be doing that, and I'm telling you, we'll be doing that soon. This guy and I have become friends, and hey, this guy. Let me tell you, you take a guy like this. You want him in the trench next to you, man, when the war starts, when the shooting starts. Yeah.
Let me tell you something interesting that happened this past week.
Okay.
You'll get a kick out of this, I think.
Okay, I'm gonna listen to every bit of it.
All right. So we get back from Missouri, and I get a letter from Congressman Buddy Carter, which is our congressman, in our area, and apparently he's appointed me to a committee called the Federal Policy Committee, which basically is one of them things where we get to sit around and give our 2 cents of what we think, but nobody's going to do what we want because, government does what they want to do. And, 2 days after that, I get a telephone call from the GMA people, and it's the GMA, the federal lobbyist, Becky Taylor, and the executive director, Larry Hanson, and says, we're doing a fly-in October the 28th. There's that word fly again.
Yeah.
Fly-in October 28th in Washington, D.C. to have a meeting with President Trump about federal money and what federal money means to small cities and what it could mean if they would release more.
That's right.
And we would like to invite you to be a part of that. It'll just be us 3. You'll be the only elected official. Do you think you can make it? I said, sure, twice 2's 4. So they're flying.
Wait a minute. You said what now?
DC. I said, just as sure as twice 2 is 4.
It's twice 2 is 4. Okay.
That's right.
And now this will be only the second. This will be only the 3rd time you've ever flown on an airplane or in an airplane.
That's correct.
And you excited about it?
I am excited because I can't wait to see what. I just want to see how Donald Trump's mind thinks. I know how his Twitter finger thinks.
Yeah. I
want to know how his mind thinks.
I tell you what, no question about it. I saw some stuff on him the other day that I couldn't believe. That he says he just doesn't think about what he says. If he'd be more careful, or more careful, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but if he'd be careful about what he says, he'd be much better off, wouldn't you? Don't you think?
I agree. I totally agree.
But though where you are right now, he'll outvote them 10-1, won't they?
I think so. I mean, I really do.
Yeah. Okay, we're coming into Troy. You're coming into Troy for a big game tonight with South Alabama. Of course, this is a rival game, and of course, did you go to Mobile last year?
I did.
Yeah, man, you don't miss many, do you?
I try not to miss any.
But of course, it's a rival game, and they always play us tough, and they got a lot of their people. In fact, their head coach played at Troy. The offensive coordinator played at Troy. Their defensive coordinator played at Troy.
Are we expected to pack it out tonight, Mike? Have you heard?
Not on Wednesday night.
I would think. See, another thing that hurts Troy.
You got church services.
No, well, church services. But another thing is this fall break. Do y'all have a fall break in your school where they get out for 3 days to a week?
Yeah, we do.
And see, that's going on too, where a lot of folks are going to the beach or going out of town, and that could hurt us too. I would say if we had 15,000.
When you grow up in Scranton, Georgia, what beach do y'all go to?
We go to, well, just if we want to go for today, we run to St. Simon's Island, Jekyll Island, or Fernandina Beach.
You don't go to Tybee, what do they call it, Tybee Island?
Tybee, no, I haven't been to, I mean, I've been there, but you got to go through downtown Savannah to get to Tybee, and that's pretty aggravating.
Yeah, okay. But if you go to the beach, I can see you right now in your inner tube. You sitting up there with that big old belly in your inner tube. What do you think?
And hey, that's right. That's
And with a big old large can of Slits. Is that right? You drink Slits, don't you?
No, I have to have an umbrella drink.
Well, I tell you what.
Y'all need to have a safe trip over, but I hope y'all brought a jacket. They say it's going to be in the 40s later tonight.
Yeah, don't be. Hey, are you going to be wearing your shorts or are you going to wear long pants?
No, I got long pants on and a vest right now.
Yeah. Are you proud, man? Are you proud?
I can't wait. Man, I wish I was already there.
I wish we had 100 or 10 or 100 or 1,000 just like you, man. You're the real deal, my friend. The mayor of Shriven, Georgia, is going to be in Troy tonight, believe you me. And, of course, you're going to help me with my ice and my drinks. Is that right?
That's right. That's right.
Well, I would think that I would think if you do that, you deserve you and your dad deserve a good meal from me. How about that?
That sounds like a winner to me.
You got my number now. When you get to town, you got my telephone number.
Listen, I want to ask y'all. What Mike? Do you see Georgia getting back?
The University of Georgia. I don't know. I think they got some problems, but they've got the best offensive line in America. Everybody claims. Why didn't they run the football? They could have run the football and won the game.
Well, they tried to run it up the middle and they couldn't. I don't know why we didn't try to go around the edges, but.
I mean, Georgia's got to beat Florida. If they beat Florida, they'll be in the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
Well, here's what.
I don't think Missouri can beat Georgia at Georgia.
I tell you what, Missouri's pretty good, don't you think, Mayor?
I think so. Here's what I don't think they can beat us because I don't think we have another. I don't think Georgia has another flat game. I think that's done for the year.
Yeah.
But here's the question I have. Okay, Georgia wins, beats Florida. Georgia wins out. Georgia wins SEC or goes to SEC, wins the SEC against a undefeated LSU team. Okay, that means LSU would be beat down.
LSU team? You think LSU's gonna beat Alabama?
Well, I'm just.
Well, they might, Mike. Right now, I'd have a hard time.
They've lost 8 in a row, and they're playing in Tuscaloosa. They're not going to beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
This is a different LSU, Mike.
This is Alabama.
Did you watch LSU's defense? LSU's defense is going to get shredded by Alabama.
Well,
if Georgia beats a undefeated Alabama team in the SEC championship game, very minimal.
Yes, sir.
Because they're not going to blow them out if they beat them. Very minimal. Who gets in? Both them teams has got one loss. I'm telling you, I think Alabama still gets in ahead of Georgia. I really do.
Georgia gets in if they win the SEC championship. Whoever wins the SEC championship is going to the playoffs. That's a done deal.
You think so?
Okay.
Yeah, well, one loss, yeah.
And
the SEC's the strongest league there is.
Do you think that they could do it again and get Alabama in it again if they had one loss?
Alabama would get in because I think Oklahoma's going to go undefeated, and I think Ohio State's going to go undefeated, and I think Clemson's going to go undefeated.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I think.
So the SEC's only going to get one team.
Boy, that is, you're exactly right. Clemson, of course, then Ohio State, and then Oklahoma. Those are 3 real good football teams.
Man, Oklahoma's defense this year, they're scary.
Yeah, that Jalen Hurts. I mean, you talk about the real deal, Holyfield. Now
he's a grown man. Hey, he's a grown man playing with boys. You know.
I tell you what, though, he almost gave that game away though, making a horrible fumble when he was in the red zone at the 10-yard line.
I believe if they put him in the ring, he'd win in the ring too.
Then he threw a horrible interception, so he didn't have his best game against Texas.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can hear the wheels rolling right now. As where's the mayor of Scriven, Georgia, right now?
Tifton, Georgia.
Tifton, Georgia. That's at the intersection of 75. That'll take you all the way to Disney World to the south, and all the way to New York City to the north. Is that right? You want to hook on to Highway 1? Is that right?
That's right.
And of course, man, we got, hey, here comes the judge. Here comes the judge, the mayor of the city of Scriven. And of course, you're going to have Troy red on. Is that right when you get here?
I got my Troy polo on underneath my vest right now.
I wish we had 1,000 or 10,000 more just like you. Loyal. You go to most every game, don't you?
Yes, sir.
You gonna come over for the Georgia Southern game, homecoming?
Oh yeah, there ain't no doubt. Now
All right.
All my friends from home come with me.
And hear this, for the first time since 1954, and I've been to every one of them. I've been to every parade since 1954. They're moving the Appreciation Day homecoming parade to on campus. It's going to be on campus, and it's going to go down University Avenue.
I read that in the Troy Messenger yesterday.
That's right.
I read where there was some upset people about it, but
I'm sure there is. A lot of your merchants probably are upset, but I think it's going to add to the. What do you think, Mike? Don't you think it'll add to the pageantry and the color of the homecoming?
Well, I mean, Troy's got a beautiful university, and the students can come out of the dorms, and I think it'll probably be the largest attended parade probably ever. I would think.
Yeah, it probably will be.
I mean,
I could see.
I think it's a good idea to just see what it's like. I mean, downtown, it's kind of what I remember as a kid, and I know you've always announced the parades on Troy Cable, but I think it's a good idea. I mean, try to do something different. I mean,
yeah, it's gonna come. They're gonna line up at.
Where will they start? Will they start at the entrance going into the stadium?
Yeah. Where they'll start is they'll start with on Johnny Long Drive and start lining up on Johnny Long Drive. Then they'll come all the way to the big intersection of George Wallace Drive right there at the stadium, and take a left and go down University all the way to the turnaround, and they'll take a right there at Rushing Hall, and go down there for a few.
The only problem is that public, parking.
It's going to be a parking nightmare. It's going to be a parking nightmare.
Yeah, you got to have a sticker to park on campus, so your campus police have got to be a little bit more lenient when people are trying to park.
Oh yeah, they will be, and but I'll tell you what, it's going to be a parking nightmare. We could look. I could see 15,000 people.
I got more parking tickets than Mike Amos and Michael Amos growing up, going to college there. I got tickets left and right.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how many you've had.
You know what my daughter told me? My daughter told me, she said, because we're not used to parking tickets. We don't have that.
Yeah.
She said, Daddy, I can't understand why they want to write me a ticket for a school that we paying so much money to go to.
That's right. No question about it. What is your now? Of course, you're there. Pregame. As you will see the Sound of the South march up University Drive to the area right there at the intersection of George Wallace and the University Drive. They get ready, and the band comes in. They're getting ready for the Trojan Walk. They play a lot of songs. Are you right there with them? Mayor?
I lost him.
And then of course they moved down.
Did you lose him on the cell phone?
I could have, but I haven't.
Yeah, he's not answering.
Yeah, I got you. But it was a lot of fun to talk to him this morning. We're gonna take a short break. We'll be right back.
You gotta hang up the phone.
Now he's back.
Are you ready? At Marguerite's, we've been designing and crafting custom jewelry for 4 generations. It's an art for master jewelers. There's really no room for error. It doesn't matter how big the diamond is. You don't expect anything less than perfection. What matters is quality, beauty, and value. After all these decades, your engagement ring is still our greatest pride. Marguerite's exquisite jewelry.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Know-how, Napa Know-how.
The lot is full of new 2019 model vehicles, and they are priced to sell at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC. New 2019 Chevrolet Silverados, new 2019 Buick Encores, and new 2019 GMC Yukons, and more. The 2020 models are rolling in. Check out our inventory. You can be sure to find the right vehicle for you at the right price for you. Shop us on 231 North Troy or online 24/7 at BillJacksonAuto.com. Bill Jackson, the name you've trusted for over 30 years.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Yeah, I think they said he's one.
Thank you to our show, ladies and gentlemen. The mayor of Stripping, Georgia is on the line with Mike Amos, and we've got Max Howell trying to get in. We're going to bring him in. But your day is just full. You watch your daughter practice, and then, of course, when they march up to the stadium, that's always a lot of fun to see the big Sound of the South band. And then, of course, you'll have the Trojan Walk starting about 2 hours and 45 minutes before game time. And then the band, what do they do during all this time? Do they feed them, or how does that work? When do they feed the band?
They feed them, they feed them after the Trojan Walk when they go in the stadium.
All right, so they feed them then, of course, usually sandwiches and so forth. And then pre-game is about an hour before the game, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah,
kickoff.
and of course it's a lot. Are you able to communicate with your daughter during that time, or is she busy?
She's busy. We can communicate with sign language a little bit if I need to. Or, I raised her up, giving her them eyes, and she knows what I'm talking about.
Well, you're going to be in the Stadium Club today. You and your dad are going to have great seats in the Stadium Club. You know that, don't you?
Yes, sir. I can't wait. I hope they got a nice buffet.
Oh, they will. They'll feed you all day long. Isn't that right, Mike?
Yeah, it's the food's.
I mean, it's not gourmet food, but it's food. Of course, they got hamburger and hot dog stand all day long.
Yep. And
it depends what they have. Like
third quarter.
Yeah, they got ice cream, they got popcorn, and all that.
That's right. But you know what? Usually, they don't start serving it until after the Sound of the South has done their halftime show. So I like that very well. And then, of course.
What road game will the Sound of the South actually travel this year? I know that helps the football team when you have the van travel.
How about zero, Mike? How about zero?
Really?
Yeah, we're taking a pet van to Georgia State and to USL, I think.
Yeah. We're taking a bus to Georgia State. It looks like Georgia State's going to be a big game, no question about it.
That's right. They're much improved. Very improved.
Exactly. Mayor, I'm going to have to let you go, of course. Now, after the game, do you stay an hour after the game and watch them play? Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, we stay and watch post game, and then we always have to take her out to eat because I just want to make sure she's got that.
Oh yeah. Where do you like to take her? Where are you going to take her?
Well, usually when it's late like that, there ain't much option other than Santa Fe, which I know some of them are staying open late.
But you like Santa Fe a lot, don't you?
I do, because like you
The
said,
guy that runs that place is an old buddy of mine.
how about that?
Yeah, real good buddy of mine. Yeah, you'll enjoy it. Well, Mayor, thank you so much for calling. It's been a lot of fun. I'll see you later on today here.
I'll see you later. See you later, Mike.
All right, brother. Take care. The mayor of Scriven, Georgia, calling in, and I just hang up on Mike. I believe I did. Hopefully, we'll be able to get him back, and also get Max Howell in here. If we can get him in here, I know he's probably a little bit disgusted because he's been trying to get in earlier today. Of course, they were talking about all these cars and all this information. I don't know. That's the first time I've heard anything about it. Where this huge vessel or ship and here we go right here. Good morning, you're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Just calling back in.
All right, boy, that mayor is something else, isn't he?
Tell you what, man, between you and him, I can't imagine the conversations y'all have.
Well, I tell you what, I like a guy that likes Troy, and I like Troy, and he likes Troy. You know something that we cut short, Mike? In the coaches, or the AP, the press, has Alabama first, LSU second, then Clemson, then Ohio State, then Oklahoma.
Appalachian State is ranked.
Appalachian State is ranked 24 in the press, but they're not ranked in. Well, let's see.
Are they not ranked in the coaches poll?
Wait a minute, I didn't see that. Let's see. There's up top here. Let's see what they say.
They're one of only 4 Sun Belt schools, I think, ever to be ranked in the polls. I know Troy's one of them. Appalachian State's one of them.
Troy.
Maybe one other team. Maybe 2 other teams.
All right, they're ranked 25th in both polls. Appalachian State 5-0, ranked 25th in both polls, and that's real good. Auburn dropped to 11. But it surprises me that LSU is second now. But now the Amway coaches poll, that is the coaches poll, it still has Clemson number 2. So Alabama with 44 first place votes compared to Clemson's 14. LSU's 3, and Ohio State 4. So those are the guys getting the votes. In the coaches poll, Alabama gets 30 votes, LSU gets 12, Clemson gets 11, and Ohio State 9. So there's no question that it's for the national championship. It's going to go down to Alabama, LSU. I don't know if LSU will be in the picture by then, but I'd say Alabama.
You notice him being a big Georgia fan. He didn't include Alabama in the SEC championship game against Georgia because Georgia fans don't want to have to play Alabama again. And guess what they've gone through? They want to play LSU apparently.
Yeah, I've got this is my 4. Is Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Oklahoma. Those are they went out. Those are the final 4.
Interesting news for former Troy quarterback Brandon Silvers. The XFL has their draft coming up, but they can assign 8 quarterbacks to different teams. And the starting quarterback, this is already announced, for the Seattle Dragons for the XFL's 2020 season, which is the Vince McMahon, the wrestling guys.
Yeah.
League. Oliver Luck, Andrew Luck's dad, is the commissioner. Will start after the NFL season's over. Brandon Silvers will be the starting quarterback for the Seattle Dragons.
He's the starting quarterback.
I mean, that's the way this is. These are picked before the season starts. So you've got Brandon Silvers, the quarterback for the Seattle Dragons. You got Landry Jones. He played at Oklahoma for several years and played in the NFL. He'll be the quarterback for the Dallas Renegades. That's coached by Stoops.
Yeah.
Is getting back into coaching. And then Cordell Jones, everybody that knows Alabama-Ohio State game, he was the guy that came in and was a third-string quarterback and led them to the national championship when they beat Alabama in the playoffs. He's the quarterback for the D.C. Defenders out of Washington, D.C., and then the Tampa Bay Vipers quarterback will be former Georgia great Aaron Murray. The St. Louis Battlehawks will be Jordan Tamu, the Ole Miss quarterback last year, and then the Los Angeles Wildcats will be Luis Perez, who actually was the quarterback for the Birmingham team in the Alliance League. And then a guy named Matt McGlone, the former Penn State quarterback, will be the New York Guardians quarterback, and then Phillip Walker will be the quarterback of the Houston Roughnecks. So this is going to be the XFL starting in February, and shoot, Brandon Silvers is one of the top guys.
Does Birmingham have a team, Mike?
No, those are the teams I mentioned. There's only 8 teams.
8 teams, of course. Do you feel like that they're financially well established?
I mean, Vince McMahon's already given $1 billion. I mean, not $1 billion, $1 billion to the league.
You mean this Rattler is a billionaire?
Yeah, he's a multi-billionaire.
But a Rattler is a billionaire?
He's the owner, but anyway, they're gonna pay the players a lot more money than any other league out there. So I mean.
Well, I'm proud for
you. Good chance for these former Troy guys. I know DeJuan Harris is trying out for a team. You know, the former Troy running back in the pros for 6 years.
That's right. No question about it.
For some of these guys to make some money.
No question about it. Mike, tonight Troy is a 15-point favorite. I would take South Alabama in the points. I think Troy will win the game, but that's 15 points, a lot of points.
I think this is a game.
And Mike, I think it'll be over 55. Don't you think it'll be over 55?
I mean, I think this game is more down to 5-point line if we start Gunnar Watson.
Yeah.
I mean, a guy that's never started a game in his life. Yeah. I mean, he's gonna be nervous as all get out. I mean, a lot of pressure, rivalry game. I mean, I would be very scary if Parker doesn't start this game.
I want to mention Jim Skinner Honda in Dothan, Alabama. A great place to buy a Honda, no question about it. Garnet Rigsby, well known to the Troy area, is the guy in charge down there, and so drop by and see him today. Also, First National Bank of Troy Brundage, located on Main Street in downtown Brundage. And of course, since 1904, Mr. Jim Ramage has been running that bank. But that all the way since 1904 when they started with Mr. Jim Ramage, and of course through Jimmy Ramage, the chairman of the board, and now John Ramage, the president and CEO of First National Bank in Brundage. Also, sisters, I had lunch there yesterday, and I'm gonna have to take these folks to eat there today. You can't beat sisters. And on Wednesdays, what do they have on Wednesdays, Mike, that I like so much?
Spaghetti.
You're right. And what is the vegetable they have that I like so much on Wednesday?
I don't know. I don't live in Troy anymore, so I'm going to guess. I don't know. You like squash casserole?
That's right. That's right. This boy knows his daddy like a book. And then dessert. What would I want for dessert?
You probably get like some kind of strawberry pie or something.
Cherry pie. I get cherry pie. I love cherry pie. Now, I'll keep asking Pat when they're going to get an ice cream machine.
It was always fun growing up with the Amos family, because we always had buffets wherever we went all over the place. And then a lot of times we'd go to football games and we'd go to different places that would have buffets, and they'd have the ice cream machine. I remember I was going to get ice cream, and I couldn't get the machine to turn off, so I had to go walk back probably about 50 yards to go back to the table and try to explain to you that the ice cream machine was still going, and it was up on the floor. Turn off.
Whoa, you're right. I remember that.
SEC basketball is out, and they picked Auburn to finish 4th and Alabama to finish 6th. It's kind of interesting. Now, Auburn goes to the Final Four, and it's got a lot of great players coming back, and they're only picked 4th. I'm kind of surprised by that.
Now, did they lose a lot of players, or did they have how many of them coming back?
Well, I mean, they lost Harper. He went early, and then Brown, the great shooter, is gone as well. But I mean, they've got the big guy back, Wiley, and they've got Kierford back and several scorers. I mean, they've got some really good talent back.
No question about it. Of course, Troy.
It's hard to get into basketball. I mean, I know that. I mean, Troy opens with UAB, and I would love to come to that first game for Coach Cross, because that's going to be one of the better teams you can see Troy play at home. UAB's always got a great program.
What's the date on that, Mike?
I think I saw that the other day. It was like November the 8th.
Yeah, 7th. I want to say 7th, but I could be wrong. And of course, that's going to be in Troy. That's a huge opener for Troy and for Coach.
I saw something yesterday. I mean, that Coach Cross has got to have a great personality, and I mean, it's just a guy that wants to motivate. He's in a full Troy football uniform. I'm talking about cleats.
No, I was fixing to tell you, you ought to see him physically, man.
helmets, shoulder pads, and he looks like a player.
Oh, Michael, I was fixing to tell you, he is in unbelievably good shape.
Yeah,
You're exactly right.
I wish Troy could pull that up of him trying to get the fans fired up for the game tonight. It is amazing. Getting the 3-point stance.
Oh yeah. He is. Man, I tell you, it doesn't look like an ounce of fat on him, and he's probably 40 years old.
Somebody had to pull that up. That's pretty amazing to watch.
Yeah, it is, no question about it. And we'll pull it up on the internet this morning. Coach Hope, Circle Insurance, our good friends Sam Judah and all the great folks there, the insurer in Dale County. They are one of the largest insurers in the Wiregrass, and we appreciate them very much. And Dixieland Dental, located 9 miles north of Dothan on Highway 231. Dr. Michael Precise, Dr. John Strength, Dr. Damon Strength, and Dr. Robert Precise make up one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama. Also, our good friends at Max Federal Credit Union. We appreciate them so much for being a part of our show. And First Cahaba Bank, and I tell you what a great bunch of folks that is. And of course, Grady and all the great folks at First Cahaba Bank, located on Publix Boulevard or Parkway, and also want to mention our good friends at Johnny Withington Drive, of course. But want to mention Johnny Withington today and.
First Cahaba Bank.
Yes, sir, and we appreciate them. And also want to mention you're in good hands with Allstate. See Perry Green at the Withington Group, located on the Elba Highway right here in Troy. Ladies and gentlemen.
Troy UAB will be on the 7th at 6 o'clock.
On what's the date now?
It'll be on November the 7th at 6 p.m. in Troy.
That will
also, big news in basketball at Trojan Arena. They announced yesterday on Friday, February the 7th at 8 p.m. The Troy-South Alabama game in Troy will be on ESPN2 at 8 p.m. That is
wonderful. Yeah, Mike. Now, how do I tape that? How do I tape that game tonight?
I'm not sure. You just do your DVR. Yeah, you can just do it on on the box. Just ask Steve. He can tell you how to do it.
Steve, that's my buddy Steve, and of course, want to mention that bow season has started. Bow season has started. I don't even know if I can pull the string back, but bow season has started right here in Troy, and of course coming up.
They got some new bow range out at Pike County Lake at the city of Troy on.
They do. They do have You're right. A lot of bow hunters go out there and practice and so forth, and that is a very good addition, no question about it. Mike, I want to mention.
I keep on waiting to see one of these great and black bears down here. They say that they've been spotting some black bears in and out of some of the big trash cans down here lately. So maybe I'll see one night.
Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of things come out of those swamps, and those swamps are not very far from your house.
Well, the state park is literally probably less than 100 yards from my house. It's beautiful, all the natural sand dunes, but. They don't allow anybody out there.
Yeah. Mike, on a very somber note, Coach Frank Sadler, who sat here so many years. You reckon how many years Frank sat up here with me, Mike?
I don't know. I did the show with him, for probably a year and a half in Troy, and I sat by him every day. And, it's so funny. When I used to hear you talk about Coach Sadler and tell stories, I felt like this guy was going to be a giant, like some Hercules. And then I finally met him, and I guess he was probably about 5'6", and of course, he was chiseled and.
Well, I'll tell you right now, you wouldn't want to mess with that 5'6" guy. Hey, he'd be on you like Muff and Jeff, man. What I'm saying.
To hear you talk about him when I was a kid, I felt like he was like some superhero.
You heard me say this before. He's one of those guys that you'd have to kill him. He had that kind of pride. You'd have to kill him.
His temperament with me was always just wonderful.
You're right. He's not a violent person at all, but
he really maybe he mellowed out a lot later in his life.
Well, when we played for him, I tell you what, you never heard anybody sass him or anything because he'd be on them like you wouldn't believe. And of course, he was a disciplinarian too, and a great coach. Ladies and gentlemen, the funeral services for Coach Frank Sadler will be Friday morning at 10:30 from the First Baptist Church in Troy. That's located in downtown Troy. And the the family will receive friends an hour and a half before the funeral, starting at 9 o'clock till 10:30. You'll be able to visit with the family there at the church. So, of course, we appreciate the family and appreciate so much.
I always said all the time, I don't think people ever realize, that guy, was offense coordinator at South Carolina for 8 years, and he was at New Mexico, and of course, Chattanooga for several years. I mean, his coaching career was incredible. He was at Austin, at Decatur. He was at Bob Jones at Huntsville. He was at all those big schools in Columbus, Georgia.
How about Central High, Phoenix City, Mike? He was the head coach at Central High, Phoenix City, and he coached a guy named Woodrow Lowe. You ever heard of Woodrow Lowe? He is hit and knocked down by Woodrow Lowe. And Woodrow Lowe would probably go down.
Coach Allen was, of course, a Troy fan first, but I know he was an Alabama fan, too. He used to wear a lot of Alabama gear.
Oh, he was a huge Alabama fan, no question about it. I used to have to tell him to not wear it on this show. And but let me tell you this, a dear man, a dear friend, and a man that he and I have spent hours of time together. I was sort of responsible for him moving back to Troy to retire. I told him, I said, Coach, you can go to Florida and you can be on the beaches, but you won't know a soul. You can go back to Columbus, Georgia, and it's gotten so big you won't know a soul. But if you come to Troy, Alabama, you'll know a lot of folks, and you'll see a lot of folks every day that you know. And the big thing is a lot of these folks still love you, and you'll learn to love them. And that's exactly what he did. He came back to Troy with his beautiful wife, Patty. Mike, she was like a movie star. She was a beautiful lady. Of course, she left us before him, but they're now together in heaven. And that's what is so wonderful.
I'll never forget, I went to that funeral, and the eulogy he gave for his wife was one of the better, one of the, I mean, it was unbelievable how elegant he was, talking about his wife and preaching to everybody about just life in general. And I was really moved that day hearing him up there, talking about his wife and just talking about life in general.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was a touching service. And Mike, I'm seeing too much of this. Richard Williford, one of my dearest friends on this earth, I lose him. Then I lose Sonny Williford, his first cousin, and one of my dearest friends on this earth. And then, of course, we lose somebody like Mike Lott way before it was his time. And then we lose Frank Sadler, one of the great coaches of all time in this part of the country, no question about it.
Sadler was in his late 80s, though, wasn't he? How old was he?
He was about 83, something like about 82, 83. He came here, and I'm going to do a little presentation tomorrow. I hope it's tasteful. And but he started here back in the mid 50s. He came to Troy, and I'll tell you a little funny thing he used to share with me. He came over here at first just as a walk-on. What they do, they would come over here and try out. Well, he came over here and he tried out, and I think his daddy was with him, and he tried out, and he went back to
he's from Albany, wasn't he?
To Albany, Georgia, yeah. And then when they called him and to come back and said they had a scholarship for him, his dad put him on a bus to Troy. Well, somehow, somewhere, he got turned around, and he ended up in Panama City Beach. Now, this is a little Indian boy named Frank Sadler, who doesn't know where in the heck he is. He's never been outside of Albany, Georgia many times in his life, and finds himself down at the beach in Panama City. And one of the coaches, when they found out about it, one of the coaches drove down there and picked him up and brought him to Troy, and rest is history. He became one of the all-time greats. In fact, was inducted into the Troy University Hall of Fame just a year or so ago, and that made me so proud that was something that meant a lot to him and his family. And Mike, when he was a freshman, he lettered in 4 sports at Troy. He lettered in basketball as a guard, of course, a great football player. He was an outstanding baseball player. In fact, he was drafted and was.
What else did he do? Track and field.
Track and field, and of course, if they'd played tennis or if they'd played.
What do they call him? The Little Beaver.
The Little Beaver. That's why they called him the Little Beaver. And I was.
When you give your eulogy or speech about him, you ought to say, "Forgive me, my brain's been affected by Coach Sattler coaching me over there."
Oh, there's no question that the reason I'm like I am right now, and I know some of you folks probably take a look at me and say, "Man,
y'all hit with your head a little too much."
Yeah, way too much. Me and KT Cole used to butt heads before the game. We'd be so fired up, and heck, I was dizzy before we even started the game. But it had a lot to do with it, hitting with our head, those heads-up tackles, and a lot of people were like that. They didn't have much of a face mask. If they'd had these steel face masks back when I played, nobody could play because they'd have broken ribs and sternums that would have been broken. I mean, it would have been terrible because thank goodness we had just a plastic face mask. Now they have steel face masks, and I can see a heads-up tackle hitting somebody right in the chest and probably practically killing them. It's really something. They ought to do away with that steel face mask. They really should. That's a dangerous weapon.
The thing today, all the padding technology and the helmet technology and all the different gear and stuff, players wear. I mean, it's a lot.
Well, the helmet weighs probably 3 to 4 pounds more than their helmet did, or our helmet did.
Just think about how much bigger and stronger all these guys are, too.
Yeah.
You guys didn't even lift weights.
Yeah, exactly right. Of course, big game tonight from the stadium is Troy and South Alabama. And coming up from Fayetteville, Arkansas, let me tell you, we make predictions on this show all the time. Auburn could be in trouble here, Mike. They're going to be a fired-up bunch of pigs over there. Suey Pig is the Arkansas fight song. But the Tiger of Albany and the Tigers of Auburn will go straight up with them. What time, Mike? What time Saturday?
I want to say that's a 6 o'clock game. I'll have to look to be sure.
And of course, it's coming up Saturday. And
one thing about Malzahn, he's from Arkansas. He'll have a lot of family and friends, and usually when he plays at Arkansas, they usually play pretty well.
Well, I'll tell you right now.
Losing the running back's going to hurt, but Auburn's had 2 weeks to get ready for Arkansas, so I would expect that they'll come out and win pretty well.
I'll tell you this: they better be careful. They better be careful because I really believe that Arkansas will play them tough. I really believe that.
Really? Wow. I don't know, man. I feel like Auburn will come out fresh and ready to go and play really well.
Well, what keeps Auburn in the game now is their defense. Their defense is strong. And how many points they give up against Florida?
24.
So they didn't give up many points anyway. So now Devontae Smith is suspended for the first half. Did you see? It wasn't even his fault. I mean, the guy hit him 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, he gets punched in the face and pushed.
I know.
He retaliates late, and that was poor judgment by that referee. They should have kicked the other guy out.
Yeah. Back in the days of Bear Bryant, and let me tell you, everybody talked about what a mean coach he was.
What good are you doing, though, hitting a helmet anyway with your hand? All you can do is...
Oh, I know it. Break your hand, exactly. But, back in the old days, Alabama, I've seen many times Alabama guy get pushed, and he'd turn his back and run off. Coach Bryant did not put up with any hitting or anything like that or any personal fouls.
I'm sorry, Auburn kicks early, 11 a.m.
11 a.m., that's right. It's going to be a morning breakfast at Fayetteville. That's where it's going to be. Look out.
The line is Auburn 18.5, over under 55.
Take Arkansas, and that kind of points, no question. You're right, they're going to 18.5. Texas A&M and Ole Miss. Texas A&M is a 6.5 point favorite over Ole Miss. They better not be napping, but I think Texas A&M turned the corner, Mike. They see now they need to run that quarterback, and that quarterback is fast. Did you notice how fast he was?
Yeah, I mean, I saw him against Alabama. The Plumlee kid can really run. I mean, they played Corral and Plumlee last week, though. They're back. that's a very good decision on their part.
Well, let me tell you this. Smith is great. Ruggs is great. Judy is great. But that other kid that runs back those kicks, golly. Buddy, he is. Yeah. Mike, that is without a doubt the finest receiving corps in the history of the SEC and might be in the history of college football.
Yeah, it's got to be probably one of the best in SEC history.
Judy is the number one draft choice.
You remember how great Florida's wide receivers were during air raid?
Yeah.
They had a lot of great ones too, but I don't know if any of them compare to these Alabama guys.
All right, Judy's a first-round pick.
Judy is getting double-teamed every game, so that's why these other guys are just tearing it up.
Ruggs is a first-round draft choice. Is that right?
Yeah.
Are they going to lose every one of them? They're going to lose every one of these players?
Yeah, Waddle's only a sophomore, so
all right, for sure. Smith is a number one draft choice. Waddle.
He's definitely the second round right now.
Yeah. I like the way Waddle runs kicks back. Let me tell you what. He heads upfield. He doesn't run these long, too many receivers run to the right and to the left.
Did you watch the game? The Texas A&M punter and kickoff guy saved 3 touchdowns.
Oh, I know it. It was phenomenal. 3 touchdowns.
And then he tackled Waddle twice, I think.
That's right. You're exactly right. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed today's show, and of course we appreciate everybody out there that watches our show in the morning and also watches us on Facebook today. We're laid back television at its very best.
Go Troy. I hope and pray that they will find a way to turn around tonight. This is a huge game. I hope everybody will go out and watch it.
All right, now you're gonna be watching from Grayton Beach, Florida. Is that right?
Yeah, I've got a lot of sick folks down here, so I can't get on the road to go to the game. I wish I could, but I've got to take care of everybody here, and I'm gonna watch it on TV.
Well, we'll see you this weekend, and I hope you have a great night, and look forward to talking to you about a winner, hopefully on Friday morning or Thursday morning when we start our show, and we appreciate it very much. Sorry we lost Max Howell today. That was we had an extra person on our phones that we're holding for. Hopefully he'll call in tomorrow and be a part of this show. Of course, brought to you by Wise Office Supply, right across the street from us here on South Grundy Street. And of course, we appreciate them. Express Oil Change and Tire Company. They do tires, they do front end alignments, they do all kinds of mechanic work. And we appreciate Chris and Nonaman and all the great folks. And also my good friend Colin McCrary at Wells Fargo Advisors. He can help your money grow, believe you me, at Wells Fargo Advisors. And Little Caesars, the best meal in town for the money, without a doubt. The $5.35 large pizza or the hot and ready pizza from that great place. And we appreciate him very much. And Little Caesars is a great place. Dixieland Dental, we appreciate them very much. Long time sponsor of this show, and we appreciate them. Along with Sandbuck Insurance, my good buddy Denny Sanford, and all the great folks there in Andalusia and Enterprise with their home office right here in Troy. And Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep on the bypass, Jason and all the great folks there. You talking about dealing. They deal like no other car dealership I've ever been around. Remember, nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody, believe you me. Also, we appreciate all of our supporters and people that watch our show. Remember, we're going to give away another Yeti cooler this Friday right here on Today in L.A. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Go Trojans!